IEPs are important for many reasons, but two major reasons are they are legally binding documents that we're obligated to implement, and they are the best way that we can plan a program for our students. In the event of a due process, if you have written an appropriate IEP within the timelines and you are implementing that IEP as it is written, and you can show that the student is making progress on the goals that are outlined in the IEP, then you can be completely confident in defending the program for that student. But on the other hand, if one of these three is not in place, you may have a difficult time defending the student's program. Timelines around IEPs are very important. An IEP must be written within 30 calendar days of an eligibility meeting in which a student is found eligible for services. Thereafter, an IEP must be reviewed and updated annually. The IEP may be reviewed within the year at the request of any IEP team member, including the parent. IEPs for transfer students must be developed in a timely manner. For our school district, we make this within 10 days. IEPs are implemented until the parent has given permission to change them or to terminate services. Parents must be invited to the IEP meeting, and they must be informed of the purpose of the meeting as well as who will be attending the meeting. This is usually done through a written notification, which ensures proper documentation of the notice. The core members of the IEP team include an administrator or designee, the special education teacher, at least one general education teacher, and the student if transition is being discussed. There may be additional participants as well, such as your related service providers or anyone that the school or parents feel have knowledge of the student and can contribute to the meeting. It is very important that your information on your IEP is accurate, and this begins with the written notification of the meeting. The participants who are listed in the written notice to the parent should match the participants who are actually at the meeting. Now remember, the parents can invite whomever they would like that they feel has knowledge of the student, so they may bring extra people to the meeting. But you, as the representative of the school system, must list who you will be bringing to the meeting. If anyone decides to attend an IEP meeting at the last minute from the school, then the notice should be updated just before the meeting so that the parents may sign in agreement that they were notified of the additional participant. If anyone should be unable to attend the meeting at the last minute, then the parents should excuse those members in writing as well. It is best practice not to actually list names on the written notice to the parents, but just to list the positions of those who will be attending the meeting. This will allow you to have substitutes at the meeting in the event that a gen ed teacher or a special education teacher or even a particular principal are unable to attend. IEP meetings are generally very pleasant events. They consist of a group of people invested in a student coming together to develop an educational plan for that student. If team members should disagree on what is best for a student, it is very important that everyone's point of view is carefully considered. However, a school system should never agree to services or accommodations that they do not feel are reasonable or necessary for a student. If a consensus is not reached in a reasonable amount of time, it is sometimes helpful to end a meeting and agree to resume the meeting at a later date. In the event that there are disagreements during an IEP meeting, it is very important to carefully list these in the prior written notice and to state exactly why each proposal was rejected. A school system should have a plan for how to deal with difficult meetings so that everyone in the meeting feels protected from abuse. In our school system, it is clearly the role of the principal to take charge of a meeting when abuse is occurring and to inform participants that they will be asked to leave the meeting and the school grounds if they are unable to conduct themselves in an acceptable manner. We have found in our school system that providing IEP drafts prior to the IEP meeting is helpful. If parents have a chance to look over IEPs and talk about concerns with the case manager or administrator prior to the meeting, it is much less likely that there will be disagreements in the actual meeting. The prior written notice is a very important part of an IEP meeting. If you're in a difficult meeting, it is perfectly acceptable to wait until after that meeting to compose your prior written notice to make sure that all your information is thorough and accurate. IEPs are rarely difficult. I find that most IEPs are a very pleasant time to share with parents about the things that their children have accomplished and to talk to them about dreams and goals for the future, and to help parents and students together develop a plan for reaching those goals. Most of the time, IEP meetings go very well. Everyone reaches an agreement, the parents sign permission, and then begins your job of implementing the IEP.